Mr. Truck here. Today we are reviewing the 2014 Grand Cherokee Overland. This is also with the EcoDiesel, the 3.0 V6 and 8-speed automatic. And I'm here today with two beautiful women, my granddaughter Alessandra and of course Kelsey. And this has how much power, Kelsey?
It's got 240 horsepower to 420 foot-pounds of torque.
There you go.
We go.
All that torque and all those gears. Coming up next on MrTruck.com. Pretty cool. It's Mr. Truck. Now this EcoDiesel, of course it uses diesel exhaust fluid, and it's nice that it is right in the filler cap where Ford is and where Ram trucks are. That is so nice. And look at the fill on this is also the capless type. You just stick the nozzle in there. Okay, Kelsey, see how easy to put the DEF fluid in this one. A little different than GM, you had to go up under the hood, and the Ford has the same place, but this is a great place to do it. And you can use those fuel island DEF fill stations that you'll see around the country. They're getting more popular with the trucks. Kelsey here's putting the nozzle on the gallon jugs. We bought these at Walmart. You can get them just about anywhere.
Trying to make sure it doesn't come off.
Yes. And this has a gauge, so we can actually see in the dash this is about a fourth full of the DEF fluid. Uh-oh, it's leaking. Yeah, that's the thing about DEF. It goes through all these little nozzles, and it's not the easiest stuff to pour in. They do that so it doesn't freeze, because this stuff is mostly water, and you don't want it freezing, so that's why they make it difficult to pour in there. And you have to pour it in slow. Now if you're at the island, you have the right island, you put the magnet in the nozzle and you can put it right in there. But yeah, this is one of these chores you'll have now in the future of diesels. It's kind of something you got to get used to, and you don't do it very often. This is like between oil changes, so you know you might get 7,000 miles, you might get more out of this. This is a 2.5 gallon jug, but you get the idea. That's how it works. Well, this is nice. You got several places to trip this hatch. You can do it inside the dash, or you can do it right here or in your key fob. Okay, Kelsey, show us how the hatch closes. That makes it nice and easy and convenient. This has seat belts for 5. You got good room in here. Yeah, decent room. It's not a Suburban or a bigger one, but you've got room. Kelsey's got leg room. Yeah, the armrest is cool, and you also have heated seats back here in the center.
Regular plug outlet in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of toys in that center console in the back seat.
Some USB outlets.
Cool.
You have to charge everything.
Yeah, okay. Kelsey, looks like you're made for that car. You fit right in there. And what we have over here, I guess this is something kind of unusual, is a fold-away mirrors, which is nice for car washes and a lot of things. And then this has power tilt and telescope, which I really like. Awesome. Okay. Now, what is adaptive cruise control? I see you got buttons all over the place. That's what those are.
So we can set up our cruise control like normal, but with this Jeep, it also tells us that if we set the adaptive cruise control on, this is how close we want to be to the vehicle in front of us, and this is how far away we want to be. Yeah,
that's great. It's so nice. It either accelerates or brakes, so you can lock on with the radar. There's a big radar button in the front, or nose on the front of this. So it actually makes it so nice. I know you're not supposed to use it with trailers, but I do all the time. That way you can go through I-25 through Denver and you don't have to worry about the cruise not working. This is wonderful. And then over here, you got that cool start button that they should all have. That way you can use your key, keep that fob in your pocket, and you can lock your windows, start your car, do your remote, all that stuff. Yeah, that key fob is awesome. That has the remote start and all that, but you know, you stick it in your pocket. This is just too cool, and the key fob's upside down, Kelsey.
Sorry.
Isn't that cool? And you open your trunk, you can start it. Awesome. And just leave it in your pocket. Yes, paddle shifters. I love paddle shifters. When Mercedes came out with that, and Porsche, I thought that was just the coolest thing, and this Jeep has it. Which is nice, it's 8-speed automatic, and actually in the dash, we'll show you when we're driving, you can see what gear you're in here. Okay, because in the dash, yes, I guess they run out of buttons in the dash, so now they've got them in the screen. So you got your heated with steering wheel and heated seat. Awesome. A lot more settings, and then push your normal settings, and then you have a place there to adjust below there how you can adjust your beeper when you're like parallel parking. Yeah, and you got that other button you showed there. That's we'll shut that off if you're using it with the trailer. And then if they take us on some of these drives, you know, we know what the heck this is. This ECO, I have no idea. The other one shuts off the traction control. But someday when Jeep invites us to the media launches, we'll learn a lot more about some of these controls. And there's a lot of controls on here. And then up here, of course, in the middle row, you have the button to open the rear hatch. You have all kinds of light systems. And then this is at this full-length moonroof, which, so if you push, yeah, that's the automatic one, which is so cool. That's the first window. And that opens up, and then there's the second one is on the other side. That side, yeah, you hit that automatic. And then all this stuff above me goes up. Oh, this is just so cool. So cool. Yes, everybody's got their own vantage point to look out the roof and see where the deer are, and the antelope, and the elk, and the bighorn sheep.
And this is really nice.
Yeah, you got the windscreen to make this a very usable moonroof.
Makes it nice and quiet.
Sunroof, and yes, it does. It's awesome. And inside there, I don't know if I can get it from this angle or not, you've got some more
SD card, a USB port, and an auxiliary port in there.
Yeah, that's all there. Now this shifter's kind of unique, and I'll show you when we put it in sport mode. Basically, it's just a selector. It doesn't really shift the transmission, but it's a little touchy. It's a little short throw in each gear. You push the button to get to the next gear. Oh yeah, do the backup camera again. That was awesome. Put it in reverse. This backup camera is outstanding. The middle line actually can line up with your ball to your hitch. I really like the way this is done. And you turn the steering wheel. Y'all seen that cool? It tells you where you think you're going. That's awesome. Kelsey, this looks like it's a very capable off-road vehicle. So show me all these buttons on here.
We are in all-time four-wheel drive. So this is where we go from four-wheel drive high to low. Okay. This is going to be your hill descent. But this knob is pretty cool because it will change the lift of the suspension with every different setting.
Yeah, so if you're like in rocks, you want it high. If you're, you know, in snow, you probably want it high. I'm not sure in mud if that changes the ratios. I don't know how all that works exactly. I mean, some of it's probably would shift you into a lower gear. In the snow, I think we talked about, might start you in a higher gear, like second or third. And that's probably how that works. And this other button on over here, you can go up and down.
And you can put it in park. And it will fall all the way down to its lowest setting, so it's easier for everybody to get out.
Yeah, that's nice. And then you can raise it up. It automatically actually lowers when you're going down the highway in aerodynamic mode, which is awesome. And then this little button over here, that's the hill descent. Okay, so you can lock and forward drive low, and you can climb down the hill. That's awesome. So you can do all that without doing anything but playing with the center console. Okay, I'm going to jump out, and we'll watch it go up and down.
All right.
And there it goes. It's raising up. Another thing nice about this is self-levels with a trailer. So you've got different loads on different heights of the trailers. You can set it once, and your Jeep will actually compensate for the load and keep you level. So besides a better ride and all these off-road capabilities, it also is great for trailers. You like this? Looks like you got plenty of room. You got your bumper seat, your jumper seat. Your red boots, you look like you're doing well back there. And you like looking out the moonroof? That looks like fun. Well, anyway, this is quite a unit here. I really like this puppy. Very functional off-road use, and it's it's made to tow 4,200 pounds, and it's made to go rock climbing. It's made to do all these things, and it's comfortable for seatbelts for 5. So, and then you can adjust the seatbelt. Then, not the seatbelt. You can adjust the power steering. Did you get it zeroed in on where you want to be? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got your tilt and your cruise. Awesome. Good visibility. This does have a giant mirror, which blocks a little of the center visibility. Of course, we have cameras and gadgets all over it. But the wonderful moonroof on this, so I can get up and actually shoot some elk or something we might see on the road. But yeah, this is quite a deal.
What I really like about it is going down the highway, it adjusts the height of the ride for the best fuel economy and stabilization.
Oh yeah, it actually will say in the middle of the dash, it'll tell you what's an arrow, or aero, whatever that's called. But the dash is actually good. It's got good DEF gauge. It's got everything you want. And the shifter is kind of unusual. If you pull it back one knob, straight back. And now, does it say S? That's Sport. But you can see right there is S. That means it accelerates a little quicker. And because I didn't get to go to the media launch, I don't know exactly how it does it. It maybe in the old Hemi transmissions with the 545 RFE, they would actually upshift was a different ratio than downshifting, and I don't know if they've got an extra way of changing the gear ratio, or if they just overfuel the injection. I don't know how sport mode comes into effect, but I know I did the 0 to 60 time with it in sport mode, and it worked great. The controls are very good too for the dash. You've got one button you hit and you scroll up and down, where some of these vehicles you got to hit 3 or 4 buttons, but I can go through all the screens in this dash, and they're very usable. And it's a gigantic screen in the middle for all your controls and your radio, and that's where they had to put the heated seat and the steering wheel and a few other things. You just run out of space in dash after you get so many options that this has. And this is the Overland Package, so it's well loaded. It's a little over $53,600 and some dollars. So it's a nice little package. I enjoy this Jeep. It's the departure angle and the approach angle are very good on this. They're not really towing mirrors, of course, so we've got a narrow trailer. We're doing fine back there. Driving through the mountains, motorcycles everywhere. So we just have to enjoy the ride.
We'll haul on a trailer through the mountains. It's 3,000 pounds, and this Jeep we're getting 17 to the gallon for an average.
Yeah, that's pretty good. On this one, I think the highway rating is, let's see, the highway rating is 28. And from what my driving inside the city and on the highway, I've been getting close to 31. I'm pretty impressed with the fuel mileage on this. I thought it was interesting with this 8-speed, and also you can see, I don't know if I can get the camera in where we can see it, but on the dash next to the shifter you'll see a real light number that tells you what gear you're in, which I always appreciated. You got to look for it, but it's a small number, but it tells you what gear you're in, and for us journalists, it tell how well the engine's performing and how well it's holding RPMs and what grade and all that by knowing what gear you're in. So it's another thing that's nice. These nice seats, of course it's leather, but there's something about this color. My grandkids always climb in here with me and look the vehicle over when I'm getting them, and I don't know if it's the fabric or what it is, but usually when they walk on the seats I have to get it clothed out and clean it all up, but they've walked on all this stuff and you don't see a mark on any of it. I'm really impressed with the upholstery on this thing.
Well, I like the dash. It's all leather. That's nice.
It's got the stitching in it. Looks good. It's got some art to it.
And I think some models actually have the leather on the tops too.
Yeah, I can't remember how many models there are. I know this Overland's up there pretty well. There's probably at least one model above this one. And those knobs, they're important. If you get in here with gloves on when it's cold, you can twist them. I like knobs better than I do buttons. I think it's much quicker to learn and to find. And we go in and out of these vehicles, and you only got a short amount of time to learn how to run the vehicle. And if they're knobs, I can figure them out. If they're buttons, I have to go through and play with the buttons. Yeah, do you think it's quiet enough in here?
It's really nice. It's quieter than a pickup, and it's still diesel.
Yeah, we're putting along here in the city of Lyons, but even on the highway, I thought it was great. You don't hear it at all.
Well, coming all the way through that canyon, you can't. I mean, I didn't hear diesel motor anywhere. And
then an 8-speed automatic, it actually keeps your ratios down. I think the maximum torque on it is at 2,000 RPMs, which it's not much on a diesel, and that gives you all that power. And then if you're using that 8-speed automatic, you can find that exact sweet spot for each gear. You know, like a semi, a lot of them have 18 speeds, some have 12 speeds, 10 speeds. But the more gears, the better. I'm hoping that these 8 speeds make it to the big trucks. And that'll help their noise too, because you always be able to hold the RPM right in the sweet spot for power and fuel mileage. It's coming someday. We're towing about 3,000 pounds with this trailer, Kelsey. It's they didn't bring us a brake controller. I was just happy to see the hitch on the back, but we don't have an integrated brake controller. We didn't put one in. So to be legal, we're staying right around 3,000 pounds, which for Colorado, you're not required to have trailer brakes if you're below 3,000 pounds. So we've got a dumper trailer on there. It's a Titan. It hydraulically dumps, and we've got one big square bale in there. So the bale is about 600 and some pounds, so we're right around 3,000. And of course, that's nothing. Yeah.
Accelerates nicely.
Yeah. The automatic air is just fantastic. It lowers it by itself, and then, you know, if you get into a rocky situation and you have it in low 4, it'll know when to raise it. I mean, you can raise it manually. But it's got all these kind of settings that only the real high-end SUVs have had in the past. And Jeep's had it for a while on this the Grand Cherokee. So how's it handling the curves?
It's nice.
And accelerate whenever you want to, because we're not hauling horses. We just got dead weight of the hay bales. You can do corners, do whatever you want to do.
It's going.
We're at some good switchbacks and curves here. This is a good test for the suspension on this. But that air suspension, it's great. It levels out your trailer, levels you out, keeps your traction to the ground. I'm kind of surprised though on the truck. I drove those last fall with the same EcoDiesel, the 3-liter V6, and you know, of course, it accelerated a little faster. I think it was geared lower. I'm not sure what this is. This may be a 355 or higher. The truck.
You're talking about the descent and how it was changing levels as we were turning around corners.
Yeah, this has great traction for cornering and all that. It's a nice suspension, it really is. Makes it the vehicle you can use for everything. I mean, you can tow 7,200 pounds. That's a lot of trailer. You know, it's a 2-horse trailer, but it's not steel, if it's not super heavy. So a lot of that would fall in that category. There's a lot of RVs that would fall in that category. Of course, you can haul your Harley and the trailer in the back and do a lot with this vehicle, that's nice about an SUV. A lot of times you can't afford a truck and a car, so you get an SUV, and then you can do a lot of those things you would with a truck and still have room for, like this one has room for 5.
So I have a question.
The toy on this, what?
How does this compare system-wise, air rise, to anything else out there? So say, does the Dodge have anything else with this air ride setup?
Well, the pickup has the exact same engine, transmission, and air suspension. All your high-end SUVs have their own version of it. You know, the Cayenne, Porsche has something. Land Rover's been famous for their systems of air ride and leveling you out. I'm sure there's a lot of Lexus. I'm sure has some system on like that, and so would BMW. So it's in that class, the same class as, of course, they're not going to like me saying that, BMW and Lexus and all those guys, but as the Mercedes SUVs, all those, and BMW, they all have diesels now in these SUVs, and so Jeep's right in there with them, giving you an American option on an SUV diesel. And diesels certainly are fuel efficient, long life engines. The interesting thing on this is the diesel pickup I drove, or I towed trailers with in California. I drove this in Mulholland Drive, and I drove the pickup version of this, the 1500, with this engine and transmission. Anyway, I think it was a 355 gear weight ratio, which means this Jeep's probably a 309 or something. I've got to look that up. But anyway, the pickup had a little more acceleration, but the great thing about it is after you spend the money on the 8-speed automatic that comes with the Hemi as an upgrade, then the cost of this diesel is only $2,850, which I think that's one of the biggest stories about that truck, is how cheap the diesel is, which means you can actually afford it versus the bigger trucks, the heavy duties, which are $7,000 to $8,000 for a diesel. It takes a lot longer to pay that off on fuel mileage than it will this $2,850. But on the Grand Cherokee, for some reason, and maybe it's a combination of transmission and engine, but this diesel option is $4,500. So that's something I'll have to look into. But I really like this vehicle. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's rated city to get 21 miles to the gallon. So then if your highway's 28, combination's 24, like I was saying, I was getting a combination of, over 30. It's, slower highways, faster highways, and it worked really well.
A waterfall!
Yes,
Yeah.
a waterfall. And we're looking at the White Rapids in the river next to us. Which I don't know if this is part of the Big Thompson or the Little Thompson or what this one is.
South St. Vrain.
This is the South St. Vrain. Awesome. Yeah, this is the Quadra-Track four-wheel drive, which has got the oscillating U-joints, so it's a very smooth four-wheel drive system. The Quadra Lift air suspension. Man, this thing has a lot of toys.
It does. And for being an all-time four-wheel drive, it's nice. It's not... It gets good fuel mileage. It pulls. It drives nicely.
And it's just got more toys you can imagine. It's it's certainly not out of range at that 53,800 or 685. This has got four-wheel traction control, trailer dampening, sway dampening, remote start. This goes on and on. I can't even get through all this. It's got 9 speakers. It has. I love the power tilt and telescoping. These are 20-inch wheels, so it's the real McCoy. It's that dual-pane panoramic sunroof we showed you. Power lift gate. It's got those neon LED headlight kind of looking thing. They call them HID.
HIDs.
Yeah, it's.
Those are nice. Also, they put out more light on the road at night, so you'll be able to see a little more. But
yeah, and that's the mountains that you gotta watch for deer and all those animals. They're all sitting on the side of the road trying to commit suicide, and you gotta watch for them. But yeah, yep. This has got the one battery, where a lot of diesels have two, but it's half the size of the big Ram diesel. And rear cross path detection. You've got buttons for that tells you somebody's about to ride their bicycle behind you.
Well, it also tells you that if you put your blinker on and there's somebody in your blind spot with that blind spot assist, it'll tell you that somebody's there so you don't merge over.
Yes, and that'll save lives. They save a lot of bicycles' lives out there.
Yes,
You never know
here,
who's sneaking
yes.
up on you. Yeah, it's a good thing.
I don't know, I like the Fords too.
Yeah.
I had the 7.3 before my Dodge.
Yeah, that black one, I remember that one. And I've got to be impartial as much as I can. I came from a Ford family, so, it's like everything. We came from a Massey Ferguson family until I discovered what John Deere's are like. So that's the thing, too, is when you're looking at vehicles, when you're comparing them, you got to give the new guys a chance, too. Like this Jeep has come, and Chrysler Corporation, what they've done with Ram, has come so far so fast. It's nice to look at them all because, what was good, 5 years ago may be the bottom of the rung now. So you've got to go out and try them out. And, Jeep sales, I think they're up 40-some% this year. It's like record numbers for Jeep. So they've done really well. People love the Wrangler, they love the Grand Cherokee and that new Cherokee that's out. But they've done a very good job of selling these this year. It's been spectacular for them. And the combination of an air ride, an 8-speed, and a diesel, it's exciting stuff. We may have to sell the other kidney. We did that for the other truck now.
Yeah. Start forcing family members to sell.
Yes, that's what we'll do. Get a big family. Maybe you can get enough body parts on the market to buy all these cool toys.